Hi everyone. Okay, last week was crazy, especially when it comes to GBP and Euro. Anyway, so as usual, the Parliament continued to reject Theresa May's Brexit whatever, and it's quite uncertain now if, well, no, I think the EU will agree to an extension, to a Brexit extension. However, it's gonna be the pro Brexiteers are definitely gonna have a hard time, because, well, for one, Remain means that it's not Brexit, and they're also having a hard time convincing the Scottish in their plans. But yeah, so far, well, last week I was planning to avoid GBP, trading GBP, except for the first day. I think Monday. That's the only time that I traded GBP because I don't want to get whipsawed. You know how manipulated. We all know how manipulated the pound can be, and so yeah. And what else? Oh, and there's also a tweet from Trump, saying that he will be he's planning to have an agreement or some kind of partnership with the UK regarding trades and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm quite happy that I totally avoided trading GBP for the next few days after Monday. So yeah, let's get started. So these are the pairs that performed well last week. One of them is AUD JPY. So this was the idea last week, and this is how it went. I manually closed this earlier during the 15th, but this week, or rather last Friday, it continued going up to 79.2. But that's alright because it's been ranging for quite some time, and I'd rather close few gains instead of risking my unrealized gains turning into a realized loss. So that's what we've been discussing actually in the chat. It's not really great to be greedy, especially if you're emotional like this dude. Anyway, and then the other pair that performed well was AUD-US. Excuse me. The other pair that performed well, which I also posted in my TradingView account, was AUD-USD. So this was the idea last week, and this is how it went. I also manually closed it at around near 71.71, and it actually dropped down. I think I forgot what the news was, which I was avoiding that week, but it continued climbing up this week, which is alright because it's already Monday. I don't leave trades open during weekends because Monday openings can get crazy and all that. So, but during the UK Open, the London Open earlier, it actually reached my target profit, which kind of annoyed me a bit, but that's alright. Still, just few pips, probably like around an additional 20 pips. Could have been additional 20 pips, but that's alright. Then another pair that went well last week was CAD JPY. This was the idea last week, and this is how it went. Also manually closed it earlier, and I think this one didn't hit my target profit. Yeah, it went down, which is not cool, but again, I'm also thankful that I manually closed this earlier, or else this could have been, well, it's not a loss, just still a few pips gained, but at least we were able to lock in that 44 pips. Yeah. And another pair that went well last week was CHF JPY, the Sweezies boys. Again, I manually closed this as well last Friday, right? Yeah, last Friday. And then this is how it idea last week. This is how it went. Actually still near the price where I manually closed it. And then another pair that, wait, what is this? No, this is not another pair that went well, but I was thinking, but this was this pair went to how I was thinking. What is that wrong with my English? I didn't trade this last week because both Euro and GBP were highly risky to trade, but I don't know, I just want to show it because I'm happy that it actually went to the direction that I was thinking that it will go to. But it's still highly risky, especially considering how big those bearish candles are. And as long as I'm not getting as long as I'm not getting bigger bullish candlesticks, bigger than these bearish candlesticks, then I'm not very confident that euro will start to go long soon. Because if we look at the monthly and weekly chart, the trend is still bearish, unless I get the confirmation, a bounce or whatever, a stronger bullish confirmation, then I'll probably just continue riding the range play in this pair. I'm not sure if I will trade that this week, considering that there's this upcoming Brexit thingy on the 22nd. Well, it's still on Friday, but I'm already assuming that the markets will be highly volatile on the days preceding the Brexit, the planned Brexit. Most likely it's gonna be delayed, like I think probably 80% probability. But still, it's better to be a little more careful. So anyway, this is another pair that performed well last week. GBP USD. This was the idea last week. This was my idea last week. I was only trying to day trade this, or rather scalp it, and this is how it went. I'm lucky that it hit my initial target profit at 1.326, 1.325 rather. So yeah, and then before bouncing down, although it didn't hit my stop loss, but it continued climbing up way past my initial target profit. But still, it's so risky. Even if this stop loss, this bearish candle here, this large bearish candle here, seems like it didn't hit my stop loss, but if you trade the live account, if you've been trading live, most likely it's already that stop loss has already been hit, because if the volatility is really high, the spreads go really wild as well. So most likely it could have, if it didn't hit my target profit, it could have hit my stop loss already. So I'm just lucky that the pair, this pair climbed up and reached my target profit quickly. So yeah, but if not, then I will definitely manually close before the parliament vote. So just to be safe. Then another pair that performed well last week was NZD JPY. This was the idea last week, and this is how it went. Also another pair that I manually closed for some reason. I think I was avoiding JPY news, if I'm not mistaken, GDP related JPY news, and this is how it went. Now it continued climbing to 76.6. Still haven't reached my target profit at near 77, but yeah, we'll see how this goes this week, rather, because I'm recording this on a Monday after the UK Open. So yeah, and probably I'm not gonna trade this week because it's already way too overbought, but we'll see. I haven't checked I can't remember, and I haven't checked the monthly and weekly chart yet, but if it's a good buy, then I'll continue buying it. If not, then I'll avoid that pair. Anyway, so this is the idea. This is another pair that performed well last week. Oil. Holy shiz, I wish I was. So this was the idea last week. This is how it went. I wish I was able to manually close it near 59, but I was pretty late. I think I was monitoring. I was so, like most traders, were all into GBP and also gold and USD index. And I've also been looking at the stock market because it climbed up. It suddenly climbed up to the 12800, a few pips past the. No, not really pips. Few points, few points higher than the 12800 resistance level that I'm eyeing on. And if it continues climbing up this week, then, well, I'm gonna start trading our local stocks again. Gonna start buying more stocks because I closed all my position last month just to be safe, because I'm thinking that there might be another recession and there's gonna be, the markets will go bearish and all that, and it's really risky to short sell stocks. It's safer to buy them and just wait for the value of the company to go up. But and most especially, we don't have short selling here in the Philippines yet, so I just to be safe, I closed all my stock positions, and I might go back there again, buy a few stocks if the markets become risk on again, and if I gain confidence as well in buying them. We shall see. Anyway, I think oil, let me see. Oh yeah, oil continued climbing up near 59 today. Interesting. We'll see how this goes this week. I will add that in my alert. And then another pair that performed well last week, which I also published in my TradingView account, was USD CAD. This was the idea last week, and this is how it went. A lot of people agreed with me with this one, but since that's the problem when your ideas, or when an idea in general is popular, it gets less effective. So I agree. I mean, most people will probably hate this, thinking that you shouldn't share your trading ideas. You shouldn't, share your knowledge which is actually true. I'm thinking whether I should continue doing that or not. But maybe I will, unless my YouTube channel, my personal trading YouTube channel gets popular, then I'll stop doing that. Because the moment your trading idea becomes popular, or actually any business idea gets popular, the market becomes saturated, and well, in trading, it gets less predictable. You don't reach your target anymore because a lot of people will try to, take their share as well, get their own piece of the cake, so to speak, and you'll get less shares. So if you have, a very valuable idea, you should just include that in your. Although I share my trading ideas, I mean, it's just a general one. I don't really share how I trade, my thought process, and I just share my targets because it's actually just my personal reference as well. It's easier to look at my blog. Also, at least I have a record that I can go to. It's really just a personal thing, but I really don't plan to teach a lot of people how to trade or be a guru and all that shiz. I was pretty lucky that I manually closed this already, because after this, this pair started going ranging. I think, let's see, this pair now, yeah, it's still at the 1.33361. It continued ranging. It didn't go down to my target at 1.325, actually 1.32. I was expecting it to go down at 1.32. Maybe it was affected by the DXY as well, the US dollar index and Trump's tweet. So he still has some influence apparently. So yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of factors why a trade didn't go as planned. But if you look at this last pair that performed well last week, USD CHF. So I manually closed this at 1.0022, but this actually continued going down to my target profit at 1.0035, unlike USD CAD. So, interesting. There you go. Probably USD CAD was also affected by oil, but it's real weird because oil actually climbed up. It didn't go down. So USD CAD, since I think it's mainly because it should have. I mean, for me, in my opinion, ceteris paribus, USD CAD should have went down to my target profit, even reach 1.32. But since a lot of people are looking into that pair, so yeah, it didn't. So we shouldn't really follow mainstream. As much as possible, we really, well, riding the trend is better than counter trend trading, but we should be early, so we get to ride the second. I mean, if you know the Elliott wave, we get to ride the second and third wave. Gotta follow. I mean, it's so risky to ride the trend during to be earlier than the trend. So it's best to wait for those who are trying to get into the trend during the first wave and then ride the trend during the second and third wave. Second wave, most especially. Second and third wave. And by the time we reach the latter part of the third and fourth or fifth wave, that's the time we should start going out, because the market, I mean, that's the massa or the mainstream. When the mainstream goes woof. And so yeah, we shouldn't join them. Anyway, so the trades that didn't perform well, the pairs that didn't perform well last week, one of them is CAD CHF, another weird thing. It's so weird because USD CAD, it's like USD CAD. I don't know why Canadian dollar. Let me see. Probably there's a news regarding Canadian dollar last week that affected, that influenced this pair as well. Let me just double check FOREX Factory, because I can't remember what happened last week in the economics. Yeah, there wasn't any. Oh, the CPI news. Yeah, I think. Oh no, wait. No, this was last week. Jesus. Okay. Canadian dollar. Yeah, it's just manufacturing sales, and it's actually a good one. I don't know. I don't really know. It's so weird. Anyway, Canadian dollar should have recovered. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know why Canadian dollar started dropping now. I don't know. But anyway, it should have gone up. Well, that's a good sign that I will continue buying, or set up a buy stop order for Canadian dollar and oil. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, another pair that didn't perform well last week was GBP JPY. This is kind of similar to my GBP USD, but unfortunately, I set up my target profit quite high. I should have put it near at around 147 or 147.5 instead of 148.115. So that should have hit my target profit instead of hitting my stop loss. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about earlier. And then yeah, this is so annoying. After hitting my stop loss, it climbed up to my target profit. Anyway, another pair that didn't perform well last week as NZD USD was the idea. This was the idea last week, and this is how it went. It hit my stop loss at 0.68. Alright, I thought NZD will start going up, but apparently those USD bulls still have power, still have momentum going on. But we'll see how they fare this week, because like if you see here, NZD starts climbing up. It's still just Monday. We'll see if it continues doing so. And so yeah, that's all. Now we proceed to the trading ideas for this week.